but the Eastern Plains, we get the bulk of our precipitation for the year during the summer months. Now, in the spots where we have exceptional drought, they rely on late winter and spring snowfall for the bulk of their water for the year. So it's probably not going to be another full year until we actually see improvement here, as long as we have a good winter season next year. So I expect this drought to last for a while, even if we see improvement from summer thunderstorms. And we have some of that activity today. It's not providing us with noticeable precipitation. We're overall starting to dry out, but we have enough heat and enough lift from our mountain terrain to create a few showers and storms this afternoon. Otherwise, it's just warm. In the mountains, we're mostly in the 70s and 80s. And we're going to stay above average by at least 10 degrees or more as we look ahead through the next 7 days. This warmth and heat, of course, will not do good things to our drought. So please be mindful of burn bans as you're heading outside over the weekend. Today, 85 was our high in Colorado Springs. Our average is 78 this time of year, still well below the record, which still stands at 92. Pueblo today, you reached a high of 93, average is 85, record still standing at 99. We're going to get closer to records by this weekend, so just prepare for the heat. It's sticking around for a little while. A beautiful view from Woodland Park this afternoon, 69 degrees currently, and Pikes Peak is a thunderstorm maker. The air just will naturally rise above it, and it creates some fun cumulus clouds, looking wispy with the clouds today. Kind of have a lack of moisture in the atmosphere, especially at the surface. We've really started to dry out. So even though the daytime heating and our terrain is creating a few scattered showers across our region, you can see these little green splotches on radar. They're really not doing much for us. So maybe expect a sprinkle, but that's about it. We'll have some extra cloud cover for the evening, so you might get a little shade, and that would certainly feel nice, but don't expect to see a downpour of rain from any of these little showers that are popping up. So tomorrow, we're going to have very similar conditions. Now there's technically a cold front coming in tonight, but it stalls out somewhere between Highway 50 and I-70. That could add an extra lifting mechanism for thunderstorms in the afternoon. No, you're not going to feel a temperature difference, but it could create some actual rainfall from the storms that move through, increasing our moisture a little bit. So that's what I'm going to watch for, kind of between Pueblo, Colorado Springs, Monument, perhaps in our Eastern Plains as well. But overall, most of us are going to be dry on Friday and still quite hot. Temperature-wise, tonight will be about 10 degrees above average, 40s, 50s, and low 60s, and we'll be about 10 degrees above average tomorrow afternoon, 70s, 80s, and 90s. Solid 90s along the Arkansas River. So keep in mind, we're going to have high UV values. You could easily get a sunburn in the next few days. Saturday, feeling very toasty as well, most of us to the 80s and 90s. But the mountains could get a nice cool down on Saturday with a chance of some storms in the afternoon. So we'll start the day with sunshine. We heat up nicely, but then most of our mountain zones will see scattered showers and storms on Saturday afternoon. There's a low chance that some of these are possible along I-25 and in the plains, but emphasis that that's a pretty low chance, but I'm not completely ruling it out. On Sunday, looks like a pretty dry. Noticed the change. The past few days we had plenty of cloud cover, and today was sunny and it was hot. Our high temperatures across the state, mostly 80s and 90s, some 70s in our mountain zones, but for the most part, it was toasty, and we're gonna stay that way. Our average high this time of year is 78 degrees. We'll be well above that for the next 7 days, and I see potential of our first 90-degree days of the year in Colorado Springs looking ahead. So while we did have some cooler days in May, we're back to warmth as we progress through June. So right now in Colorado Springs, it's 80 degrees, only 16% humidity here and that is quite a change. Winds are very light this afternoon though, so it should be comfortable if you want to go outside for a walk. Still pretty toasty here through the evening. After sunset, we'll drop to the 60s. Evening in Canyon City, we have a mix of sun and clouds. Those clouds were from just a few showers that have developed today. Overall though, we are pretty dry at the surface, so 13% humidity means any rain that has been falling from the showers that developed today have really evaporated, just leading to some gusty wind underneath them. It's been a warm and overall dry day across southern Colorado. Here are some of those showers I'm talking about, just these really minor green splotches that you see on radar. It's some residual moisture paired with the heat and some lift from the mountains that helps to create those spotty showers, but overall, they're not doing much for us. Like I mentioned, you might get a sprinkle or some gusty wind underneath them, and they should dissipate after sunset. Tonight will be clear. It'll be mild, about 10 degrees above average overnight, and then 10 degrees above average tomorrow afternoon. Very toasty Friday for us. And again, we could see a few spotty showers develop. Now, I think there might be enough moisture for this to actually fall as rain in the Pikes Peak region, maybe as far south as Pueblo, because there technically is a cold front coming in tonight from the north, and it stalls out somewhere near the Palmer Divide here, which is I-70 to El Paso County. So I'll be watching that for the afternoon on Friday, but most of us are going to be dry, and it's just going to be another sunny and toasty day, and some clouds will be expected by the afternoon. So today was very warm as well. 45 is where we started, and we rose to a high of 85, and our temperatures in Pueblo 46 this morning, 93 this afternoon. Records, of course, are still safe, but we could be getting close to records by the time we head to the weekend. So tonight we're going to drop to the 40s, 50s, couple low 60s, very mild start to the day tomorrow, and Friday afternoon is a solid 10 degrees above average with mostly 80s and 90s. And this weekend we're getting even warmer. Add on a degree or two on Saturday. Again, mostly 80s and 90s for us, well above average for this time of year. There is some potential for thunderstorm activity on Saturday. It looks to favor the mountains. So anywhere in the high country, you could see a few scattered showers and storms. They would actually provide some precipitation, and there's a very, very low chance that any of these will make it to I-25. I'm not going to say the chance is zero, so just keep your eyes to the sky. Later in the afternoon, if it starts to darken, if you start to hear rumbles of thunder, that's your cue to go inside. But overall, this weekend is trending pretty warm and pretty dry. Incredibly warm today. We had 80s and 90s in the eastern plains, 70s and 80s for the mountains, 80s and 90s for the western slope. So it's feeling like June and summer weather creeping in. Right now, we're slowly cooling down. We're in the 50s and 60s in the higher elevations, 60s, 70s in the plains. It's still a warm 78 in La Junta. So tonight, showers across the region. We even did have a couple thunderstorms in the plains, but overall we really started to dry out today, and the showers were very limited in coverage, and they didn't supply a whole lot of rainfall, mostly just some gusty wind underneath it. And with the sunshine we got today, it was very warm. We rose to a high of 85 in the Springs. Our average high this time of year is 78. 93 was our high in Pueblo. Average is 85. The records were safe, but they're getting a little less safe once we head into the weekend, I'll say that. Our temperatures for tonight will drop to the 40s, 50s, couple low 60s. And then Friday, a little bit warmer than today by a couple of degrees. Solid 90s in the plains, mix of 80s and 90s along I-25, 70s and 80s towards the mountains. Again, kind of like today, we could have a few very spotty showers develop. Now, there is technically a cold front that's going to move through here tonight, kind of stall out near I-70 or as far south as Highway 50. It's not going to cool us down, but it gives us a little extra moisture at the surface. So that could be where some storms form in the plains tomorrow. The mountains will do their thing. They usually do provide some lift, and a few stray showers will be possible there. But I'm going to closely watch where this front stalls out for where a couple of isolated afternoon storms will form in the lower elevations. These storms would provide tiny hail, maybe pea-sized hail, gusty wind, and some moderate rainfall. Now let's look ahead to the weekend. It's going to be hot. We're looking at 80s and 90s on Saturday, as well as on Sunday, and even some triple digits are going to sneak into the forecast along the Arkansas River. So we're in for a toasty weekend. You're going to be craving some afternoon clouds and maybe a shower to cool you down. On Saturday, there is a solid chance of some showers favoring the mountains. So we'll see some widely scattered showers and storms for the higher elevations, generally west of I-25. However, I cannot rule out a storm making it to I-25 and diminishing in the plains, but that chance is on the low side. Sunday for most of us is looking like a dry, hot day. Again, we might have a few sprinkles, but the best storm chance would be into northeastern Colorado. And we're not going to